ShopMonkey is a B2B software platform, and we service the automotive repair industry. So we service about 6,500 automotive locations in North America, and we help them run both their all their front office operations, everything that deals with the customer in-store operations, et cetera, as well as all their back office operations. So things like accounting and supply chain, logistics, inventory, et cetera. Yeah, when I took over, one of the big opportunities I saw, and one of the big threats as well, was that we needed to rethink security from the ground up. It needed to be, built in the culture of the product, culture of the development organization, the way we designed our products, everything from, the sort of process and people side, but also the technology side. We needed every line of code, every process of deploying, building, everything that we did from the ground up needed to be security. So, what JIT really enabled was the ability for, at literally every code change, our process involves security, and JIT basically enabled that. It basically gave us, at the level of PR, at the level of every change, the ability to automatically scan all of our software, not just the code that we were writing, but all the other third-party systems that we were integrating with. It allowed us to, at the point of entry, at the point of a potential vulnerability, versus later scanning software in production. And sometimes it's too late at that point, right? And sometimes it's too hard to make the change, or it's too complicated, or it takes a long time. And so our inversion really was, if we can stop it at the point of origin, and JIT enabled us to do that. And the point of origin for most, for us, was sort of the pull request, the code change. Say what's different from our perspective, from my practical perspective with JIT, was we had a lot of security scan tools. We had dozens of tools before, so it's not like we didn't have any tools. We had a lot of tools. We were actually spending way more money on a variety of things, constant code scanning, Docker scanning, perimeter scanning. It was just all sorts of things that we were doing, but yet we had, some very clear security gaps in our, for example, secrets in our source code, or we had, a lot of different things that were happening, but yet we invested all these tools. And so what JIT allowed us to do is really, again, at this point of where the change was happening, it allowed us to insert it in. And really, it also changed the culture, because security wasn't now someone else's problem. It wasn't an department we could outsource to, or some tool that we could pay for. JIT became something culturally that everyone inside the organization was thinking about, at the level of how they wrote the code, at the level of the way they designed the software, the level of the way we operate and access our software. And then the other big thing was we just had one single pane of glass for everything. We might have a bunch of different underneath the covers. JIT is orchestrating a lot of different tools and a lot of different sort of services. We just had sort of one tool we had to worry about, not 5 different dashboards I had to log into and transfer data from one system to the other. And JIT, literally, if we find a security issue that we want to action, we can click a button and it goes right into our linear issue system, and we can immediately start actioning it, working it. And then, any PR, of course, so it becomes this sort of closed loop cycle, which is really nice from an engineering standpoint and a management standpoint. I would say, honestly, before JIT, our developers didn't access or log in or care at all about any of the other tools. Just to be really honest, like, we had all these different tools. They didn't have access to them. If they did have access, it might have been through sort of a Jira ticket that got open when there was a security incident that was like very opaque and didn't really help them do anything at all, honestly. Now, post JIT, given that it's just directly integrated into their daily workflow and everything they do, they have a lot of visibility. Obviously, if there's anything that they find, if there's a security vulnerability that's found during the scanning process, they're directly interacting with it. So it's very much a first and foremost in front of them, and they interact with the tool every day. The Slack bot, they interact with everything that, as it exists. It's just a core part of our development process.